Assalamu alaikum viewers. Today we have decided to change the setup because these days it's the monsoon season and everywhere various type of the fruits are grown. I thought that I'll be sitting in my own lawn and you can look behind that there are number of the pomegranates behind me. If you can have a look at this, uh, this tree is filled with the pomegranates and this is quite old tree. So I decided that while learning, you would be having the glimpse of the fresh fruits as well. And viewers, thank you very much that you people have subscribed the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe the push the subscription button. I will be very grateful to you for this kind act. And today the topic we are going to discuss that is all about the pain. This is a very common thing. I am feeling pain and I am feeling back pain, I am feeling arm pain, I am feeling headache, I am feeling backache. Pain is a very common word, but why pain occurs? What are the psychological reasons behind it? What are the medical reasons behind it? What are the area of the brain? How do we feel pain? If we look at how do we feel pain, we can feel pain and we can experience pain because of the brain. And this would be a very new thing that we are, if we are feeling pain in the hand or we are feeling pain in the arm, how it comes that we are perceiving the pain in the brain. But actually the thing is, if we are experiencing the pain, we are experiencing the pain because of the active switches within the brain. Because the moment we are feeling pain, our body will get activated, and while the body is activated, it will take the message through the sensory receptors to the specific area of the brain, and we are able to experience the pain. So we can say that pain is being perceived through the various sensations. And if, for example, pain is also there within the children, they may feel pain, they may feel stomach pain, or the various type of the other pains. And this is very much common in all of the age group. For example, adolescent can experience the pain, children can experience the pain, adult can experience pain, elderly people can experience pain, and whenever their bodily and immune system is not good enough and they are experiencing various diseases and various malfunctioning of the particular organ, that is the another reason for experiencing the pain. And we this is a sort of uncomfortable situation, this is sort of unpleasant situation. No one want to experience this situation, but they are facing this situation, and they'll be taking various type of the painkillers and the various other things to get rid of the pain. But what are the types of the pains? There are two types of the pains. For example, one type of the pain is known as the acute pain, and acute pain will be lasting for, let's say, if it is lasting for 2 months time period or for the 3 months time period, but this is not severe type of the pain. It's obvious from the name that when we say that acute pain, we may say that acute pain would be leading towards the maybe a serious sort of the pain, but this is not a serious sort of pain. It is a pain, we may say that it will be lasting for a fairly long period of time. This is known as the acute pain. The second type of the pain is known as chronic pain. Chronic pain, the individual will be experiencing from, let's say, 1 year period of time, or 2 years period of time, or 3 years period of time. So this is known as the chronic pain. If pain is prolonging for fairly long period of time and it's still persistent, even if after taking the medication or even if taking various other things and getting the treatment, that pains last for a longer period of time, and that is known as the chronic pain. There is a question which may arise in the mind of the various people: is pain having always a physical discomfort, or there are some other reasons of the pain? You will be surprised to hear this, like pain is also is always not having the physiological reasons and the physiological malfunctioning of the particular organ. Rather, it can occur due to the psychological pressures as well. This is known as the psychogenic pain. And psychogenic pain means like people are experiencing the pain and they are complaining it, and they also complain like they are experiencing the severe sort of pain. And but this doesn't have any bodily or the physiological reasons. Whenever investigation is being done, there would be no reason behind it, and there is no particular thing behind it, and there all the physical organs and are functioning properly, and there is no malfunctioning in the particular organ. This what could be the examples of this type of the pain? For example, if someone is complaining about headache, or someone is complaining about the backache, even the stomach pain, it could be because of the psychological reasons. People will be surprised to hear it if they are feeling any type of disturbance in their stomach, and if they are complaining pain for their stomach. How it could be a psychological distress and a psychological problem, but this is actually a psychological pain, because the thinking process is sending the various type of the impulses, and all the pressure will go towards the stomach. And we can also take the example like most of the people who are in the stress, they may eat more, they start eating, and there are some other type of the people who stop eating while they are under stress. What is the reason behind it? Because all the physical energy is moving towards the stomach. That is why their appetite becomes so fast and they started eating. In the same way, the same case can happen in this situation, and those people who are experiencing the stomach pain, 50% it could be because of the psychological reasons, and this is known as the psychogenic pain disorder. Headache is very common, and whenever we complain to other people and we discuss and we share it that I am having a headache, the first question which will come in the mind of the people, they will ask, do you have any stress? Do you have any tension? What's the reason behind it? So every person know about it that mind is related to our thinking process, and if there is any sort of discomfort and the distress, then people will experience headache. And the backache is also related to the psychological reasons. So there are three things which can lead towards the psychological pain: headache, backache, and stomach ache. But there are some other pains which can be long and the persistent pains in the various bodily organs. Whenever it is investigated after the medical examinations, it doesn't have any physiological roots. That can also be a psychological pain. But what are the physical pains? Physical pains can occur due to any wound, it can occur due to any damage, it can occur even after the pinching of someone, or the stinging of some insect, or if there is any malfunctioning of that particular bodily organ, it can lead towards the physical pain and the physical distress. So the physical pain need to be evaluated on the medical grounds, and it is need to be treated on the medical grounds, and we need to go for the further medical examinations for the proper treatment of it. So we can segregate the physical pain along with the psychological pain. Now there are various psychologists and the various workers and the researchers who have conducted number of the researches related to the pain. And what are those pain theories? Number one theory, it was simplicity theory, and there are the proper bodily organs and the nerve impulse. It will be taking the message from the physical organ. It will activate the pain receptors. Whenever the pain receptors are activated, it will taking the message from the particular bodily organ to the brain. And the specific term which these days is being used, that is the noxious. and noxious is one of the main stimulant receptor which can be activating and taking the message of the pain towards the brain. The second theory is known as the Melzig's theory, and Melzig theory has given, you must be hearing the voice of the aeroplane. I don't want to edit this video because I'm sitting in the natural environment. As I'm sitting in the natural environment, so I feel that each and the everything should be from the natural environment. If some noise pollution is coming, you'll have to tolerate it. So the next theory is known as the pain gate theory. Pain gate theory is given by the Melzik, and he said that there are various types of the gate within the human body. Whenever nerve impulse of the pain is activated within the human body, this message will be going from the human organ towards passing through various gates of the body, and it will finally and ultimately reaching toward the particular area of the brain, and we are able to be aware of that we are experiencing the pain. So we can say that there are various gates within our human body, and whenever the receptors of the pain are activated, and it will taking the message passing through various gates, and we are able to convey this message to the area of the brain, and we are experiencing the pain. There are number of the example. If someone fall down, he will experiencing the pain. So according to this theory, that person will have to undergo various gates, and after passing this nerve impulse will pass through various gates, and then finally it will be reaching towards the brain. If there occurs some accident or in the form of the encounter, or while the bullets are hitting the person, the first thing individual is experiencing the pain. The moment something is hurtful to you, the moment something is harmful to you, the same moment pain is being experienced. So it means that the nerve impulse is working so fastly and so quickly. The moment we are feeling and perceiving the pain, the same moment we are actually experiencing, and we start complaining it. So this is another gate, another theory of the pain gate theory, and how these experiences of the pain are passing from one gate to another. That this is passed through the nerve impulse. Now we need to check the assessment. How there is another thing like the phantom limbs pain. We need to explain it. What is the phantom limb pain? There are number of the examples that people did have some disturbance in their particular organs, and that particular organs were removed from their body. But even after removal of that particular organ, they are experiencing the pain. And there is the evidence that the children who are born without the proper organ, they would be experiencing that pain in the particular organ. This is known as the phantom limb pain. For example, if there is a child who is born without foot, but he will be complaining that he is experiencing the pain in the particular organ, and even if the amputation of the particular organ, and that is being done with the medical surgery, and that limb or the organ is extracted from within the human body, but even if they are experiencing the pain, this is basic element of the phantom limb pain. So psychologists and the researchers have conducted various researches how this phantom limb can have effect on the life of the people. It does have a very serious type of the impact on the physical well-being and the mental well-being of the people, and people experience disturbance with it, because even after the removal, why they have removed the particular organ, they have removed the particular organ because they don't want to experience the pain. But even if they are experiencing the pain, though they don't have any that particular organ, for example, we can take the example of the removal of the gallbladder. Whenever the gallbladder was removed, to give the comfort, to give the pleasant feelings to the patient, even if after the surgery patients are experiencing the pain, that is also known the phantom limb syndrome. And there are some other organs if that is being removed, like appendicitis is removed, but even after the surgery, the patients will be complaining that they are experiencing the pain. This is also known as the phantom limbs pain. So, but the thing is, and the question is, how we need to how we can measure the pain. There are various strategies and the various tactics through which we can measure pain. When we speak about the medical examination and the medical checkups, we can say that EEG, electroencephalogram, is conducted, and that is the brain test. And if the switches of the brain which are located, which are properly responsible for, which are responsible for generating the pain, that EEG will work rigorously, and we will be able to know that how much intense that person can experience pain. Then the second is the self-report. If person is giving the self-report and he is complaining the pain again and again, he is going to the doctor and discussing it with the doctor, that is a second form of the pain. The third is the observation. For example, if someone is feeling pain and unable to express that he or she is experiencing the pain, we can observe that particular behavior, and sometimes it happens the pain is so severe and so intense, then we can observe it without the self-report. They cry with the pain, they scream with the pain, and we can have a direct observation. Doctors can have direct observation, the caretakers can have a direct observation that the person is suffering from the pain. This is another way how we can uh, measure the pain and the level of the intensity of the pain. There are various other ways. For example, if there is some person and his report is diagnosed as the cancer patient, then the intensity of the pain can be measured very easily in this concern as well. Then number of the psychologists, they do have various psychological questionnaires and the various psychological tests through which we can say that it can be measured through various psychological tests. At what time they experience pain, what is the intensity of their pain, after eating meal, how do they experience. So this could be the type of the psychological questionnaire which can help them out to measure the physical distress and the physical uncomfortable situation. And if there is, god forbidden, if there is some serious sort of the situation, like in the situation of the war, in the situation of the battle, in the situation of an accident, we can simply see the harmful and a very painful situation of a person who is experiencing a pain with the wounds and experiencing pain with various other things. But the question arises, what could be the treatment for the pain? Because we want to remove the pain from the person, either that is a minor pain or the minute pain or a medium pain or a severe pain which is intolerable for the individuals and the human beings. There are various things. One is the painkiller. If that pain is having a physiological reasons behind it, they must be treated with the painkillers and the proper treatment with which they are suffering from. They need to go to the doctor and they need to adhere to the doctor, because adherence is the most important thing, and you need to follow the doctor's advice and doctor's suggestions and follow the treatment, take the medicines. And if there is some severe sort of the pain, then some sedatives can also be given to the patient to reduce the pain. Then injection is another way. in which the painkiller injections can be injected to reduce the painful situation of the individual if there is some serious case, or even after the surgeries, injections can be administered to the patients. The third is, if there is the psychogenic pain, then psychogenic pain can be treated with the various type of the psychological therapeutic interventions, and those psychological therapeutic interventions can help the individual to bring the positive change in their mind. And if there is some behavioral change within the individual, then behavioral, we need to bring the positivity within the individual from the negative thinking to the positive and the optimistic thinking. And the cognitive behavior therapy can work a lot. Even the CBT, client centered therapy, can help a lot in, if in treating the pain if some patient is suffering from the psychogenic pains, because those psychogenic pains can be treated through the psychological treatment, and it cannot be treated with the painkillers, because there is a difference. And painkillers can work for the physical malfunctioning, whereas the psychological interventions will work for the mental malfunctioning and the mental distress. I hope you will like this video. I will come with the next video as well. Till then, Allah Hafiz.